Neil Young and Heart of Gold on BBC Radio 2 with me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington.
Alright. We were asking for the worst Christmas gifts you've ever received, past or present, and there have been some absolute stinkers here. Pete Archer says, I'm diabetic, and I once got 3 big tins of sweets. I mean, that's just rubbing it in. Cheska says, I once got a Christmas tree from my brother on Christmas Day.
Well, that's
long-term present, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
What do you mean?
Was it a plastic one or a real one?
We need more information. I got a fly mode from my 85-year-old gran, which was nice, but for the fact that I live in a flat.
Well, you could do the carpet.
There's one here, it says, Sid from Leeds, he says, I once received a PlayStation 2, which I really wanted. I didn't open it for a few hours while we had lunch, and I was looking forward to playing the game, a bit like you with your ZX Spectrum.
Yeah.
I opened up the box, and much to everyone else's enjoyment, there was 2 oranges and a pair of socks.
That's cruel.
But that's like, I mean, that's what kind of a family's that? I mean, in Carl's case, he actually forgot to buy the pack.
Harvest Festival, the vicar's got a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
It's just the wrong label, isn't it? Yeah, he couldn't believe his luck. Coming up, actually, talking of vicars, a lot of vicars listening, apparently. I don't know how many that is. I don't know how many there are. But, Carl's gonna do a sermon. You remember, last week, he insulted vicars, saying they only work 1 day a week. He made a vicar swear.
Yeah.
Who said, maybe if I, give up my 1 day a week, I can become a DJ and do bugger all week. You made a vicar swear.
Yeah, but I didn't mean to, I just...
No, Gillian Oliver's phoned in, and she's the press, officer for the Church of England, and invited Carl to do a sermon. We've risen to the challenge. Carl's gonna do a bit of a sermon. We just say, that's when we've picked on. We're open to all religions here.
Yeah.
Maybe, in the future, Carl can do a sermon, for another denomination. I don't know, you know.
Well, it just depends, though, how sort of thick the book is.
Right.
So you want a religion with a smaller book?
Just a smaller book, and...
I just say I view all religions equally, because I'm an atheist. So I truly do view all religious beliefs equally. But, you know, just because I don't believe in it, a lot of people do, and Carl is gonna basically sum up the Bible. That's what we're doing today,
Should we play a record and then come back with the first part of Carl's sermon?
I cannot, I mean, I honestly can't wait. I feel like squeezing his head during this record. Okay. Stones, Waiting on a Friend. Great track.
Amazing tune.
So, Carl, you've studied the Bible over the last couple of days.
Well...
And you're gonna give us basically the Bible abridged, is that right? Just, condensed?
Just that, you know, it's that time of the year when religion,
well,
no
let's
matter who you are,
let's do a sermon. Everyone settle down at home, turn the radio up. This is, Reverend Karl Pilkington with, the history of the Bible.
Alright, thank you very much. Right, well, thanks for coming. Starting off, you know, I mean, I started off at the beginning of the book, what have you?
The Bible, we'll call it for the sake of argument.
Right. There's quite a bit missing. It doesn't say about how sort of God was already about, so it doesn't go right back to the beginning.
Right. Okay.
God's already knocking about and that.
Yep.
Anyway, he made the world, right? He did all that, right?
Yeah.
He sorted out sort of sun for in the day and that, so everything's light and you can see yourself about.
Right.
He did the stars and the moon for at night, right? I was thinking about that. If I was him, I probably would have just let it be day all the time rather than having 2 systems.
We're not criticising.
No, I'm not gonna go. I'm just saying. I mean, it's easy now, isn't it, in hindsight, to sort of say, do you know what?
It's easy to really criticise him, but he was working.
He sort of loosened the top. You just got it off. Yeah, sure. Yeah, he did a lot of the work. Yeah, cheers.
No, I'm just saying though, like they mess about with the clocks and that because of farmers getting up in the dark and that. If it was day all the time, less crime and that. I'm just saying it might have been worth an idea.
You missed a trick there, is what you're saying.
But he moves in mysterious ways, so you don't know why he's done that. He might be thinking something that your small brain can't really.
Fair enough. I'm not having a go, like I say, I'm just reading it and thinking about it. That's what it's all about, innit?
Yeah,
education, get yourself thinking.
Yeah, go on.
Anyway, so he did all that. He made the sun and that, and then he said, "Oh, make some creatures and stuff." He made a load of birds, loads of different birds, creatures, animals, and that. Because with the world being so big, it's like if you buy a big house, you need more furniture, don't you?
Right.
So he made this, and he was like, "Oh, God, what am I going to fill it with?" So this is why he did all these.
Right.
Animals.
That's not actually in the Bible. You speculated there on the mind of God.
Well, I'm sort of just treating it like it's his big house,
right?
Isn't it? Okay. And he's filling it. He's making it look nice, different birds and what have you. Right? It's just my opinion. Like
it's making it sound like the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah.
So anyway, right. So he does all that, and he thinks, right, I'll make a little man and a woman.
Sure.
who we all know as, like, Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Everyone knows their names, but at no point is their surname mentioned. Right?
Well, he's not gonna have trouble with the post, is he?
So anyway, right, Adam and Eve are knocking about. The God says to him, look, just enjoy yourselves and that, right? Do what you want, but I'll tell you this. I'm only telling you once, he said. He said, don't be eating fruit from that special tree.
Yeah.
So, they were like, alright, fair enough. He said, the tree that I'm talking about is the tree of knowledge.
Yeah.
So that's sort of made it a little bit worse, because it sounds good and that, and you're like, oh, knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, don't go in that door. Yeah,
Is that sort of thing, instead of just sort of not telling them. Because I don't know, see the tree of knowledge, what it had on it by what I can work out, is, it's an apple tree, right? And it's pretty tempting, isn't it, to have a little cheeky apple, because I don't know what they were eating back then.
Right.
Do you know what they were getting by on?
No, I don't know.
Right, so anyway, so they were like, yeah, alright, whatever. Eve goes for a wander about.
Yeah.
Right? Killing time and that. Bumps into this snake.
Oh, yeah.
And, Snake said, alright, you got an apple, right? And, he was selling it to her, he was going, it tastes good and that, right? And she's like, well, shouldn't really, but, you know, I've been told that I shouldn't eat that, because I think God said to her at some point,
oh, get on with it. You're on page 1 at the moment.
This is absurd.
This is just unbelievable.
I know, but I'm just
Just get to the point. You're on page 1. You haven't moved on. Just get. Okay, we know Adam and Eve. What have you learned?
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. He was saying don't eat it because it's dangerous.
I know. We know. Get on with it. Just get on. I mean,
But the thing is, people do eat things that are dangerous, don't they? Like pufferfish. Even to this day, people are eating stuff that can kill them.
Yeah.
So it's not a threat. They're not that bothered. It's an apple, right? They're gonna have a little cheeky apple. Anyway, they eat it, right? God goes mental at them. He said, I told you not to do that. I've told you you can enjoy yourself and everything. You've gone against what I said. You've eaten the apple. Adam and Eve sort of got told off and what have you. They went off and had kids. That added extra pressure. A lot of arguments happened. And, that's kind of part 1.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So, oh, you're an idiot. Really, you are an idiot.
Well, part 2 later then.
You better buck up your ideas in part 2.
What a great track.
Amazing.
Lynyrd Skynyrd. Sweet Home Alabama. On BBC Radio 2 with me, Steve Merchant.
And me, Ricky Gervais.
And over there, both of us.
Yeah.
Karl Pilkington.
Alright.
Still to come, we should also point out we've got Rockbusters on the way. It's the quiz that's not sweeping the nation. No one cares.
Oh no, that's not fair.
Well.
No, look at him. Look, he's probably been sweating over that. He's been reading the children's Bible.
Yeah.
But I mean, and that's all he came up with. The first people were Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
I mean,
And we don't know what their surname is.
unbelievable. What an idiot you are.
Also in the third hour, Monkey News. Which I think we're all looking forward to.
It's sort of like Darwinism versus creation, isn't it? Monkey News, Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Which,
It's a bit of everything.
which do you like? Do you like Monkey News or do you like Adam and Eve?
Also, it's probably worth kind of digesting some of the year's big events, Rick. So maybe we should just cast our eyes back on some of the big
I
news
think
stories of the
people are waiting to see our three opinions on the review of the year.
Yeah. I should just give away this Eurythmics platinum disc that we offered up in the first hour. And we were asking for the worst Christmas gifts you've ever received. And I want to give it to this guy because well, it's not like, you know, I'm sure it's fine, but it's just something about it which really amused me. It's from Toby in London. He says, when I was younger, I got a book about crude oil. I'd never expressed an interest in oil, and certainly not crude oil. But what I love is the parents, is thinking of that gift.
They were shopping, they were going, what oil is it that Toby likes?
Yeah.
I don't even, does he like
Well, it's olive oil, probably, I don't know.
No, he thinks olive oil sissy. What's that one he loves the spouting out the ground one?
Crude oil?
Get him the book on crude oil, Mary. Unbelievable.
So, Toby in London, you get the Eurythmics Platinum disc, well done to you. Also in this hour, we've got some Kylie collectibles to give away. So we'll probably do Rockbusters, and the lucky winner of that gets those. But I was just going through the papers, of course, and it's the New Year's Honours list today, and I imagine you're very excited about that, Carl.
New Year's Honours and all that.
Yeah, you're familiar with that, when people get knighthoods and OBEs?
I've heard about it.
Sir Tom Jones, you got to call him Sir Tom now. You pleased with that? Do you think Tom Jones deserved it?
Well, they sort of chuck him out to anyone now, don't they? So if he wants one, let him have one. Well, it's just, I mean, the way I saw it was, like, you know, the Queen used to give them out to people who, you know, did like big things like killing dragons and all that.
Yeah, that was a while. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now it's, you know, from dragon killers to sort of Joe Pasquale.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, you went in the jungle with Ant and Dec. Is an OBE.
Some people actually send, famously, some rock stars and big names. They sometimes give their awards back, or they refuse to accept the knighthood. If it was offered to you, Rick, would you accept it? Your OBE or your?
See, I don't know, because one, I know it's sort of like not a cool thing, and I don't know if you should align yourself with that sort of thing or whatever, and whether you're a monarchist or not, which I'm sort of indifferent really. But I would feel rude.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Well, it's you know, after we won the Golden Globes, an interviewer said, "Do you think you'll get a knighthood?" And I went, "Oh, I don't want a knighthood." And they said, "Why not?" I said, "You can't do anything with it." I said, "In olden days, you could ride a white horse along and have a big sword. Nowadays, you can just put it on your headed notepaper."
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And I said something like, "I'd rather have a name like Don Gervais." And the headline was, "Ricky wants to join the mafia," which I think is a bit harsh. I've been invited to the palace a couple of times. I think about.
Whoa, hang on. What do you mean?
I've been invited to the palace about 3 times.
Why? Can I just point out for people who don't know who I am, I collaborate with Ricky on everything except his stand-up comedy, which I suspect was not the reason you were getting invited to the palace.
No,
You know, it's a little bit bawdy,
My
a
work
little bit blue.
For my work on Flanimals.
Yeah, for your children's...
Please get him along. I love the mung angler. I love that mung
So I should just point out that I've co-written both The Office and Extras, and yeah, I've never had an invite from the palace.
Yeah, but I think the Queen knows who's the main one, who's the driving force. You know. Anyway, right. So I get this thing through. The first time I thought, I can't go out.
Why couldn't you go?
Well, I don't know. The second time I came through, and I said to Jane, it was like 6 o'clock, right? And I said, "Oh, should we go?" And it was very exciting, but I felt a bit funny just going along to the palace, right? And I said,
Sorry, who was it? Could just be you and Jane and Prince Philip and the Queen? Was it? That
well, no, there was about, I don't know, I think it was about 8. There was about
Right.
8 people, right?
So you needed some extra
eminent
people for Pictionary.
Me, the usual, me, Salman Rushdie,
Yeah.
David Bowie,
Yeah,
right?
sure. Oh yeah,
and-
you're aligning yourself in the
Yeah.
company of geniuses, I noticed there.
No, I'll tell you something about Salman Rushdie later. And I said to Jane, I said, "We go for an hour." She went, "It's not the sort of place you can turn up for an hour with some leaf brown milk."
It's not your boss's barbecue at the weekend.
Pop in. I've got some other people to see. I'm seeing Tony Blair later. Anyway, cheers, Liz. But anyway, the thing that came through was, I will be attending, stroke not be attending, right? And I thought that was just too harsh to send back, "I will not be attending."
Yeah.
So there was a number at the Marshal's house, and I called him up, and he went, "Hello?" And I said, "Hello, it's Ricky Gervais here. I got an invite to the palace. I won't be able to attend." I said, "I thought it was a little bit harsh just to send back, 'I will not be attending.'" He said, "How delightfully polite of you to call."
Was it Roger Moore on
I don't know, but I went, "That's no," he said, "Oh, there's no trouble. Thank you so much for calling." I bet no one calls him.
Yeah.
I bet he doesn't get a look in. And it was really, I'm so glad I called and didn't just send back, "I will not be attending." But listen, keep inviting me, because, I mean, if it's right for my diary, I'd love to come along and have a mooch around.
Yeah, just see what's
Seriously.
going on up there.
Yeah, so, Salman Rushdie, right? This is a nice story. So, I've met him a few times now. Now he's out and about.
Sure.
He's never home.
No.
I bet his house is a mess.
Yeah.
Right. It was just after the first series of The Office went out. I got invited to this thing. I'd met Jonathan, actually. I'd met Jonathan Ross on this show, and we were talking about being Bowie fans. I'd never met him before, and he said, "Well, I'm interviewing Bowie for this special. Come along." And I went along. And there was Bowie. My hero was amazing. A couple of big celebrities in the audience, one of which was Salman Rushdie. And Greg Dyke, who was head of the BBC then, said to me, he said, "I'm a Bowie fan, do you want to go and meet him?" And I went, "Okay," right? So we went down, so it's me, Greg Dyke, right, and Salman Rushdie, going on chat to Bowie. I went to the pub the next day with my mate, and he said, "What did you do last night?" And I said, "Nothing." 'Cause I couldn't say, I was hanging out with David Bowie, Greg Dyke, and Salman Rushdie. Why? What did you do? And I just said, "Nothing."
If you can name every celebrity that Ricky has mentioned in the last link, who he spent time with, then you can win yourself a prize. Perhaps a signed copy of Extras, for which he got invited to the palace, and I didn't. 88291. If you can name every name that Ricky Gervais dropped.
That's gone to bed.
Rick, as you know, I absolutely love a good cover version. I think that cover version, if it's done really well, can not only match the original, it can sometimes even better it.
I totally agree.
And I think that that's Ryan Adams' version of Wonderwall. And I think, you know, much as I love Wonderwall, it almost reinvests it with a new beauty and a new majesty that perhaps we'd forgotten about because the other song is so well played.
Taking it away from Noel.
Oh, not at all.
But
It's almost kind of reinvented it, you
It's
know.
beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Great song anyway, isn't it?
That's what's weird, really, because you've done that, and that's kind of what I've done with Rockbusters.
Right.
I've taken something,
Well, you've taken Blockbusters and changed one word.
sort of made it better.
No, not really, because those are real clues that work. Yours are the ramblings of a madman who doesn't really understand what the word cryptic means.
A little bit
It's
stronger.
more, this should be called What Am I Thinking?
Well,
What am I thinking?
We should just introduce the idea of Rockbusters to people who didn't hear it last week. Now, I'm trying to think of some classic ones. Do you remember there was now what was it? The
Jamaican
Jamaican
fella spinning a fish round his head. That was De Trout Spinners.
De
And he
Trout
tried
Spinners.
to make it sound, I mean, it doesn't work.
You have to speak in a Jamaican accent and say
the way they
the
say,
Trout Spinners.
But they wouldn't say Trout, they'd say Detroit.
Trout Spinners.
So it doesn't work there. So that's the stupid Wet Knee Houston.
Yeah.
No one called Wet Knee Houston.
Yeah.
So
you need to basically crawl inside Carl's head and figure out what's going on in there if you want to win these. We've got some Kylie collectibles for Rockbusters.
the good thing about crawling into Carl's head is there is a lot of room.
There's plenty of room.
It's
It's very much like when God created the Earth. You can just fill it out with anything.
Yeah.
Birds. So, your Rockbusters clues this week then, Carl.
Alright, so as always, you know, we did it last week.
What can you win, though?
The Kylie collectibles, just mentioned
Brilliant.
that.
Loads of
Excellent.
stuff.
Should we throw in some stuff of ours? Just to
If you've got any tag
we
you
get
wanna
it
go
for
with?
free, extras, flanimals, etc.
Got some of that junk lying around the office.
Yeah.
So then, 3 clues, you text in with the answers, you win the stuff, right? First clue. The initials of the band of the artist are FF. Right?
FF, okay.
FF. And the sort of
Well, I
cryptic...
know already.
And the well, not ruin it. And the cryptic clue, I've got snails, croissants, and baguettes in my palm. Right? What's going on there?
Oh, no, I don't know it.
Right, there's the clue.
Say that again.
I've got snails, croissants, and baguettes in my palm. Oh, that's weird. FF. Right, FF. What's the band of the artist?
The clue changes ever so slightly every time.
I know.
Right, the next one. Me granny's is taking a penalty. She better get the ball in the back of the net. NM. Artist or a band. NM. That's an old artist, by the way.
Give it to us again.
NM. Me granny's taking a penalty.
I've got it.
She better get it in the back of the net.
It's a good one.
Okay.
It's a good one.
All right.
That might be his best ever.
Wow.
There you go, right? And the last one, this is a tough one, but you know how it works.
Wow. When he says tough, he means doesn't work.
Yes.
Does not work. Repeat. This does not work. Go on.
The initial of the band, it's an 80s band, I think I've got to help them out. A is the initial, right? And the clue is, and where people go to relieve themselves after looking at elephants and that. What am I? Right? So, letters A, the cryptic clue, and where people go to relieve themselves after looking at elephants and that. What am I?
And the initial?
A.
882921.
That works.
You can give us a call 0500 288
I'm getting worried now because I'm getting all these.
That's really scary. Gervais at bbc.co.uk if you've got an answer for, or you need all 3 of those to win those Kylie collectibles.
It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah, well done.
Play a little cheeky song.
Yeah.
Razorlight. Golden Touch. On Radio 2. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
We were going to have a quick assessment of the year's events because it's been a tumultuous year in many ways, Rick. You know, some steps forward. I'm sure you'll agree with the ban on fox hunting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really can't believe it took to 2005. And then people moaning, we can't go and hunt fox. Oh, why not? You can't go and have a fox ripped to pieces. Oh, what do you want to do instead?
I never understood it because it was people getting up in arms, and it's a sport for them. It's a
sport.
game, so it's like you can't play Yahtzee anymore. You've got to
know.
play Guess Who. Well, all right.
And all this rubbish about, oh, well, you know, it's what foxes do. Oh, is it? Oh, but why do you like it? You wouldn't want a robot fox, because you want to see blood. My brother-in-law was doing this job, he's a driver, and he went to this sort of really posh school, and he was talking to someone there, they're into fox hunting and stuff, and he said, I don't agree with, just chatting to us, I don't agree with fox hunting. They went, oh, why, are you a vegetarian? He went, no, I eat meat. They went, you eat meat, but you don't agree with hunting? He went, why, do you eat fox?
Yeah. Fair
I
point.
mean, it's such a ridiculous argument.
Are you pleased with that ban, Carl?
What sort of? I don't think, you know, we should sort of any animals, should we?
I totally agree.
And
Yeah.
sort of, you know, respect their place and that. I mean, I went on holiday once, right? Went into the sea, right? Was only up to my knees, right? Got stung by a jellyfish, right?
Sure.
And what I mean is, like, you know, the sea, that's someone else's territory, innit?
Right.
And I could have had a moan.
But you
I was like, well, I shouldn't be here. You know,
Whereas if you went home and you were watching telly and a jellyfish came at you,
so what's going on?
you would, wouldn't you? You would say what's going on, wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
You definitely would. If a jellyfish came out from behind your telly and clamped onto your face, you go, Suzanne, what's going on? What's the jellyfish doing? I don't go into the sea. But it's like when they, that bloke that climbed into a polar bear cage and got eaten, and there was a thing about have the polar bear put down. No, don't have the polar bear put down. You took him from the ice caps, popped him in a zoo, right? That's his house now. He didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
right? And then someone climbed in. I love it when a matador gets gored to death. I love it, because the bull didn't want to fight.
Happy New Year. But also this year, of course, we've had the gay civil marriages, or the civil ceremonies. I'm not entirely sure yet what this is. Do we loosely call it gay marriage, just for the sake of ease?
No, well, it's just it's officially a civil marriage, isn't it? They're not saying it's a marriage as such, because I don't know if the church acknowledge it or not, I'm not sure. We got enough vicars listening.
They can let us know.
Let us know, yeah.
But I don't know if you read it, I read it in the paper the other day.
But the church is gonna look nice, isn't it? The flowers are gonna look brilliant,
really good,
aren't they?
But I don't know if you read the other day that I was pleased to read that John Inman, Mr. Humphreys from Are You Being Served, has just been involved in his civil ceremony with his long-term partner.
Whoa. John Inman's gay.
Yeah, no, I know. It's stunning, isn't it?
I know, unbelievable. I do like it when one of those sort of people that are so obviously gay, they come out after like years, like Elton John comes out and goes, actually, I've got some news. Sit down. Mate, just sit down, I've got some news for you. Oh, hello, Alan. Like your new pink tracksuit, by the way. That's what I want to talk to you about. I'm actually gay. And they all have to go, you're joking.
Yeah, they gotta fake it.
No way.
Like when someone knows there's a surprise party for them, they gotta pretend that they, oh my god, I can't believe it. But,
yeah, so what we've had, it is a year of disasters, which is, it does seem worse this year. I don't know, maybe I'm hitting that age where I think there was like, it was nicer before, but it was a year of disasters, wasn't it?
It's been terrible. Well, we've had obviously Hurricane Katrina and the tsunami and the earthquake and things, and it's obviously been terrible, and we don't want you to be flippant about that, but the only time I was praying for a natural disaster of biblical proportions was when I was watching Celebrity Love Island. and it never happened, sadly. And some of the dregs of humanity on that show, I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but Paul Danan is a joy, because he's a mental case, and I'd say that, I don't know if that's libelous, but, I mean, if anyone's seen the show—
What did you say?
I said he was a mental case.
Yeah, it's pretty libelous, I think, I think he could sue you there.
Okay, well, I'll take that back, but—
Take that back, he's not a mental case.
But he is, I think—
I mean, let's face it, before you, say anyone is stupid or a mental case, do the old binary sort, are they madder and thicker than Carl? If not, I think you know—
That means I can never accuse anyone of being stupid. But I love it. He was talking about Lady Isabella Harvey, and he went, I love Lady Isabella Harvey, because, the thing is, like, she don't like books, and I don't like books.
Brilliant, they got something in common then.
The idea that something in common is something that they don't do together.
I love the idea that people like us were sitting around just praying for a big wind.
Just a big wind.
And the only big wind was from Rebecca Lewis. In the Ghetto by Elvis. That's one of the 10 songs that Carl likes.
Yes.
I mean, I've never met anyone who is, I don't know, so underwhelmed by music and the plethora of
No, I
tunes.
do like it.
But it was saying about when I first got my iPod, which I absolutely love, okay, and I was downloading, I said, it's got 10,000 songs. He went, what's need that many for? He said, I like a Walkman. He said, you know, you're going for a walk, listen to that. He said, how long's the walk? When do you need 10,000 records? And he was trying to work with the ones he put on, and he got to about 7. And what do you like? You only like songs with a story?
Mainly, a song that, you know, when you pop it on, you go, right, I'm gonna listen to this for however long it is, and you've got to check it all out. You can't just turn it off and fade it off, because you've got to hear how the story ends.
But how many times can you hear the same story? I mean, it's a great tune, but it's not because it's a story, it's because the lyrical content, apart from the story aspect, and the beautiful tune, and the way he sings, and the production.
No, it's not about that.
Otherwise you almost go, bloke, he born on the wrong side of the tracks, tries to nick a car, gets shot. I mean, that's—
Yeah, but think about what you've just said, and what I'm saying is, if you get up to, he was born on the wrong side of the tracks or whatever, I'll turn it off now, you'd be going, I wonder what happened to him. So you listen to it all.
What other songs are there, songs with the story?
There's one, Johnny Cash, when he's nicking a car from a factory.
What happens there? I don't remember that song.
He works in a car factory, and every day he's going, right, I'll nick a little bolt, right? Yeah. Then he nicks a wing mirror, and I think he nicks like a gear stick and that.
So if you've got 7 songs that you like, I mean, it must be— what's your favourite song of all
But
time?
how could you do that? Because you haven't heard how that ended now, you see? I've just told you there what he was doing.
Because you've probably got it wrong.
I haven't, and then what
I assume everything you say is probably wrong.
There you go, then you'll never know, and that will annoy you now. So, Other songs I like, Rod Stewart, Killing a Georgie.
Oh yeah, that's your favourite song, isn't it?
That's good.
Because it's, yeah.
What's the story there?
Just about a little gay fella goes to New York, because that's, like, I think it was in the 70s when, like, you know, if you were gay and that, New York was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, where they all went and stuff. Had a good life there. His dad didn't, I think his dad kicked him out or something.
No, I'm sure you're thinking of, Small Town Boy by Bronski Beat. I'm sure you're getting all these mixed up just because it's another little gay fella, as you call him.
Anyway, he goes to New York.
He goes to New York.
He's having a wedding time.
Yeah, having a good time in the 70s.
Oh, you're right. His dad said, how can a son of mine not be straight? I take it all back, I'm sorry, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And he goes to New York and that. They go out late, don't they? They have, like, late nights out and stuff.
What do you mean?
No, I just mean, you know, gays like to party and that, they like to live, you know what I mean, they get the most out of life and that. Partying late. He was on his way home.
I'm sorry, that's such a general
Everyone goes out late and parties.
What do you mean they like to go out late?
No, it's just if you go in Soho in London, right, at like 5 in the morning, you think it was like rush hour.
But you assume anyone who takes a bit of pride in their appearance is gay.
Well, I mean, no, you can look after yourself and that without being a little gay fella, but I'm just saying that's what that song's about.
Can I just say, anyone's offended by this, he means no harm, he doesn't know, he knows not what he says, really, everything from Carl is totally genuine, he's not having a go, you live and let live, don't you?
He's a bit like Mork from Mork and Mindy.
He hasn't got a prejudicial bone in his body, but go on then.
Yeah, so, and then because he was out late, he was walking back and sort of, it's a bit of a sad ending, he gets attacked and that, but it's a good song if you want a song with a story. Rod Stewart, Killing a Georgie.
Brilliant.
Right.
So. Well, I'm thinking maybe we should get people to just text in, just a few people, if they've got any songs they can recommend to Carl. We maybe getting played to him.
Pinball Wizard.
Pinball Wizard, love.
That was a good one. That's about blind fella.
Right.
Deaf, dumb, and blind kid.
Oh yeah, deaf, dumb, and blind. Right, but he loves pinball. I don't know if he knows what he's playing. No, it's just that he's a pinball wizard, but, you know, if he's deaf, dumb and blind, does he know what game he's playing?
Sure.
Does he even bother putting money in it? Well, no, forget it. If you get
Hungry Heart from the Boss on Radio 2, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington, and of course Ricky Gervais.
We don't mean the Boss on Radio 2, we don't mean Leslie Douglas. That was Bruce Springsteen.
I don't think anyone was making that having that confusion.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Just you.
Just in case, okay.
We were doing, about 20 minutes ago, Rockbusters, special New Year's Rockbusters, 3 clues, 3 bands or artists. We've had a number of responses. It really worries me when people get this right.
Well, I was worried that I got it right.
Well, I don't know what it says about our audience. It's like, why are we bothering? We may as well just shoot off. They'll be happy just watching the tumble dryer going round.
I know. Well, Carl, come on then. What are the clues again? Here we go.
Right then, so, there's 3 clues. First one, the initials were, FF, right? And that was, if I've got snails and croissants and baguettes in my palm, right? That's like the clue. What band or artist is that? Think about it, right?
Go on then.
The initials were FF. That's Franz Ferdinand, right? So like
Whoa!
Franz Ferdinand. It's kind
Franz Ferdinand.
France, because it's like that's
France,
what they eat over there.
Should be
snails.
French, really. You can't say France
in
food,
your hand,
can you?
so France.
French food in hand.
French food in
I've
hand.
never heard of a band called French Food in Hand.
Well, a lot of people got it as well.
I know,
on the
but
text,
French
so.
Food in Hand. What are they? What label are they on? What label are they on?
It's just French food in hand. So you got that, right?
French Food in Hand. Yeah.
Second one was my granny's taking a penalty, right? She better get the ball in the back of the net.
Go on.
NM with the initials.
Yeah.
Try and work it out. Your gran, that's your nan. Ball in the back of the net. That's Nana must score it, right? Nana must score it, right?
Nana Muscori. Okay, I'll give you that one.
And who is it? Nana Muscuri.
Nana Muscori.
Yeah, so
Nana Muscuri.
so that works. And then
No, it doesn't work.
Then
But
the
it's
final-
close enough. It's close enough.
the final one was the initial was A, right? And the clue was, and where people go to relieve themselves after looking at elephants and giraffes and all that sort of stuff. What am I? Right? That's a I'm a Zulu.
I'm a Zulu. No, I got
I'm a Zulu.
I'm a Zulu.
So that works as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, no.
3 good clues as always there.
Well, not really. Couldn't really call them cryptic, but
Well, I'll give it to David Lyons of Aylesbury,
first one in.
Buckinghamshire, Franz
He got 'em
Ferdinand,
all.
Nana Muscuri, and Amazulu. Well done, David.
he gets the Kylie collectibles, which is what is it?
Just some Kylie collectibles.
Live signed
There's
stuff.
some signed
and
stuff on there. Some more. I hope he's a Kylie fan.
We're throwing a signed extra DVD and some flammable stuff as well.
And on Monday, get straight down some kind of clinic. Have your brain examined.
Alright, bit of Kate Bush.
Kate Bush, King of the Mountain. Must be a song about the Tour de France or something.
Yep.
Wear a helmet. Always wear a helmet.
Good advice. Now, as you mentioned earlier, Rick, last week we had a spokesperson from the Church of England who was offering a spot at some kind of Manchester church for Carl to do a sermon, educate the kids on the Bible and all things religious. We've preempted that. We're first instalment in the first hour, and it was very slow.
You've got to be quicker. If this is a Brit, I mean, that was nearly longer than the real thing.
Yeah,
that, I mean,
you're turning people off religion.
I mean, God only took 6 days. Do you know what I mean? And you were pushing that.
But this is what.
And he made it. You were just talking about it.
But this is what vicars do, isn't it? They drag it out. This is their living. If
They don't
rushed
drag it out.
What
do you mean?
When you go to church,
What do you mean if they do? If they rushed it, what?
well, they wouldn't have a job, would they? So you've got to make sure you do everything that needs to be
You
told
reckon they're
and that.
milking it, do you?
Well, a little bit. I mean, you said that, not my words. But yeah, that's why I can't, rush it. You've got to tell the story, haven't you?
Alright, well, you need to get the Old Testament out of the way, because we're not even on to the New Testament yet.
No.
We've only got an hour and 10
Well, I'll
minutes.
just do it right.
Jesus hasn't even made an appearance, and he's like the star, isn't he?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, we're all waiting for him to make it.
Yeah, he's like Brad Pitt coming in.
And I'll tell you, this, at the moment, it's a bit like the film King Kong I went to see. 3 hours long. It's 50 minutes before Kong makes an appearance.
Well, exactly. Let's get to the main event. Come on.
get JC on there.
I can't now. Anyway, just where we left off, just in case you've just
Could I just
tuned
say
in.
this is
Don't recap!
I'm just saying that Jesus is the main event because it's the Church of England. There are other religions where he's probably not as high up.
He's not as featured as
He's
prominently.
not. No, he'd be third on the fourth on the billing.
No,
Right, come on.
all I'm saying is we left it where Adam and Eve had kids. They were arguing a lot. The kids didn't listen to the
Well,
mum
they
and
weren't
dad.
arguing a lot.
They did. They had a bit of an
The
argument.
kids did, yeah, but Adam and Eve didn't argue, did they? They were loving it. They were having a great time.
Well, no, not once he ate the apple.
I'm an atheist, and I'm trying to help him out.
Can we get on with it? Because we're just recapping what we already got bored of earlier.
Yes, come on! Get on with it!
I'm just saying.
Oh.
So the kids didn't listen to the mum and dad because they had a criminal record and that for nicking the apple. The kids were running riot. They're not bothered. So let's pick up.
I'd like to apologise there. I'm just going to say, it really isn't worth complaining. He doesn't know what he'd get off. In a court of law, he'd get off. He's got, I don't know, he wouldn't be culpable for his own actions.
Come on,
'cause he's an
even
idiot.
I'm getting bored of this now.
Okay.
Right, so, God, you got to a point where it's all going wrong, right? People are doing what they want, Adam and Eve aren't listening, all the rest of it.
No, he gave them free will.
I've got to
so
do
the story
something.
goes,
Please,
oh,
Rick.
this is making me ill.
So, anyway, right, so he said, how can I get rid of all the badness and that? So, he made it rain, right? It rained for ages, people got sick of the rain and that, right? Cleaned it all out, right? Before he did that, though, I forgot something that's quite important. He met up with this bloke, Noah.
They met up over a coffee.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he said to Noah, look,
Get an umbrella.
I like you and that. Here's a little job for you.
All I'll say is buy shares in galoshes.
Yeah.
Words
no,
of advice.
I don't want to give anything away, but you get a boat.
Yeah.
And
said-
get a big boat.
He said, what I want you to do, right, make this boat up. He said, and when you've done that, go about, right, and get 2 of everything. Right? So, it
Man
was
and
like,
female.
that's a big job, isn't it? Right?
Man and female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you know, because do you know I always say I always put myself in the situation of the person's job and that?
Yeah.
I was thinking I can sort of sort out a man elephant, man woman and that. I wouldn't know how to do it with a spider. What?
I don't know why he brought on spiders. I do not know why Noah brought on spiders, because he missed an opportunity there. Get rid of all things like that.
Yeah.
Get rid of the spider, and get 4 flamingos or something. Or get 8 chimps. Let's use the space wisely.
But the weird thing is, right, with the spiders as well, because he did get the spiders on, didn't he? It rained, right? It rained for ages, like, what was it, weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Raining that. So, and then he let out a bird, I think it was a raven.
No, it wasn't.
Right, come on, let him finish.
No, this
It
is
wasn't a raven.
This is
This is a fact. He let a raven out, right, and he didn't come back. So already his system had broken, because he
Oh,
only
I
had,
think-
he only had 1 raven left then, right? So he was like, oh. So, he said, right, he left it a couple of days, he sent a dove out.
Oh, that's it. That's what I know. You've been more than me. I'll say. Sorry.
well, there
Is that
you
what he
go.
did? He let a
Yeah.
raven out first, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Never
dove,
trust a raven. Always give it to the dove.
dove came.
Don't send a raven to do a dove's
I
job.
reckon the Raven found another arc, an unofficial arc that was just like a party arc.
No, look, come on!
No,
Come on!
right, so the dove came back.
Yeah.
So he said, right, there must be dry land somewhere. Right?
Okay.
So anyway, he was like, let's just hang about.
Why
for a
do you
bit.
think that?
'cause it found a twig or something.
Exactly. Say what you. Why couldn't that be the top of a tree though? Why could it? How did he know that?
Don't
Rick,
know.
if you're not going to add to this, we're never going to get it done.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right, so there was mud everywhere because the water went down. Mud everywhere.
Where did the water go?
Shut up! Why just
Where did it go?
Shut up! We haven't got time to go into
It doesn't make sense. If the whole world was flooded, where did the water
We have not
go?
got time for this.
Where did the water go?
This is mental.
Did they refreeze the ice caps? What? Tell me. Is it? It's got to be
It didn't
specific.
say it was a kid's Bible, wasn't it? It wasn't going in depth. It just said the water went away, right?
Where?
It floated off. I can't be bothered.
I think I'd quite like to meet some proper Aborigines. It amazes me the way that these people still live like cavemen did years ago. They waste nothing. They have a use for everything. I saw some pictures in the paper about some tribe somewhere who chucked their spears at a helicopter that tried to land close to them. If the tribe got annoyed with you, they would let you know that they were annoyed by shaking their knob at you.
That's what they do.
Oh God!
See, that's like a proper guide thing. Just in case you ever meet one, they start doing that.
Carl just ends that chapter by saying, I don't know what the women do if they get annoyed. Oh God! Oh God! Within this new Carl book, of course, there are extracts from his famous diary. This is... You've actually been to Madeira, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a bit more of a factually accurate, informative chapter on Madeira. September 30th. Going away with Suzanne's mum and dad. We're meeting them at Madeira Airport as they're flying in from Manchester. The plane was full and I had a headache. There was a baby sat behind us that was crying its eyes out for the whole flight.
Oh.
The mother of it said it was upset because its ears were hurting. So were mine. Oh God! We had to get 2 cabs to the villa because they couldn't fit 5 of us into one. It cost €85 each. That's just whinging. That's not anything.
That's dear though, isn't it? It's a dear way.
But that's not good because they don't know how far that
Yeah.
was. They don't know whether that's rip-off or how, you know...
It's just letting you know that.
What? You don't know what the distance was. If it was a
Taxes a
mile,
day.
it's a rip-off. If it was 25 miles, it's a bargain.
And you know you can't get 5 of you in one cab. It's all little things that might help you on a journey.
Yeah.
Suzanne's dad said he liked the free biscuits that were in the cupboard. We went to try and find...
Sorry, this isn't useful as a guidebook at all. That is absolutely in that. I know. They go, as a guidebook, let's have a look. Oh, Suzanne's dad liked the free biscuits in the cupboard. And much people complaining, and they're going to be like, there's no free biscuits in this cupboard.
We went to try and find a supermarket. Suzanne's man was having a go at her dad because he didn't have a shirt on. She said he looks a mess and is embarrassed to be seen with him. It's their Ruby anniversary tomorrow.
That's why we went away.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a fan to put in our room to drown out the sound of the mopeds. I've heard Wayne Rooney does the same thing with a vacuum cleaner. What? To drown out the sound of vacuum cleaners, or he puts a vacuum cleaner in his room
if
to
you've
drown out the
just
sound
got
of
a
the mopeds?
noise, if you've just got a noise that's constant, it makes you nod off, and it drowns out every other background noise. So all you've got is like, if it's a vac, it's just, and if that's constant for like all night, you just nod
People
off.
next door going, they've got the vacuum cleaner on again. Put on the JCB. People next door going, they've got the JCB on. Get the... Poke the chickens.
That's how nuclear wars start.
Yeah.
It works.
Doesn't work.
We watched-
Earplugs, drown out everything.
I've tried them. I didn't like it, did I?
Why not?
Because I could hear my heartbeat.
Oh, you're such a strange little creature. Oh.
We watched Jerry Maguire in Spanish. Suzanne wanted to go to bed, but I just said I wanted to hear the "show me the money" line in Spanish to see if it's as catchy. It wasn't. October 3rd.
Sorry, it's Portuguese or Spanish?
I don't know what they're speaking in this country.
Madeira.
So it's Spanish and Portuguese, is it?
It's Portuguese, isn't it?
I think there's a mix. I think you get people going on
Portuguese,
holiday.
I think.
Yeah, but you get Spanish people going there.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So they sometimes show television programmes for possible Spanish holiday makers. Is that what you're saying? Or have you just got this factually inaccurate because it's a load of old toss?
Oh, God. Amazing. Oh.
October 3rd. Didn't do much this morning. Just think about this. Just think about this.
Why would you put it in?
As a
guidebook.
holiday. Just think about this next line.
Judith Chalmers. What happened? Not a lot.
Think about this, Rick, as a description of a holiday.
Right, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
As Carl said, he loves to go travelling, it broadens the mind and
Yeah.
everything. This is what he did. He's there with his family, he's in Madeira. Didn't do much this morning. Just sat by the pool, saving insects that flew into it.
I'm gonna die like fucking Noah. That's amazing. Nothing good.
How were you saving them? Did you wait for them to hit the water, then fish them out, or you grab them in the air?
Did you see the legs going?
Oh God.
Stuck my finger on the top. They grabbed on, lifted it off.
And what, when some sort of insect lifeguard, you'd see someone land and they'd go, right, that's me, dun, 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 and you'd go in there.
But it's hard to turn a sort of a blind eye to stuff like that, because you know that's something, you know, you're witnessing death. And if you can save something, you do, don't you? You do your bit. And at night, I'd sort of think, have they learnt the lesson, or will they be back, and will they be dead in here tomorrow? But if they can get an extra day, I've done my bit. I can't do more than that. I'm on holiday, do your bit. I'm lucky enough to see the world, do your bit.
I love it.
I did my bit.
I love it. I love it. I love the fact that he was running around saving flies and things.
Is there something? There's something so sort of.
Wow, an old lady drowned
Yeah.
while he was saving a beetle.
There's something so kind of, I don't know, desperately existential about your diary. That's what's so
Yeah,
extraordinary about
yeah.
it. As he says, I just sat by the pool saving insects that flew into it. It was full of death. It's just so,
God!
it's so depressing.
Alright.
We walked round the shops. Suzanne's dad bought 2 packets of the biscuits he'd like to take back home with him. Suzanne's mam bought a tin of corned beef. It was a bit of a boring day today.
Jesus.
There was a dead bird out the back.
Oh no, where were you, Carl?
Suzanne's dad said it looked like it had flown into a wall and killed itself.
No, I think it caught a few insects, but they were covered in chlorine, so it poisoned it.
Loads of ants were eating it.
Oh God.
I dug a hole under a tree and buried it. That ants were still all hanging around the scene of the death, ages after the burial. Suzanne's dad said I should have left the bird for the ants to eat because I was messing up the food chain. I felt bad, so I gave the ants some breadcrumbs.
This is weird.
This is just so
This is
dark.
really weird.
It's good bread out there, though, isn't it? I should have put that.
We have to eat all the food we've got because we're going home tomorrow. Suzanne's mam cut her finger opening the corned beef tin and fainted.
But sorry, this is really weird. Why do you have to eat all the food?
Isn't this like, what was it, what's that film, the Amityville Horror, where there's like a haunted house and there's dead insects and ghostly children walking through the corridors, old people fainting, insects. I'm just saving the insects, mother.
But you always eat all the food that's in the fridge before you go home, don't you? It's all there to be eaten. She bought some pikelets, which I've never had them. They like squash crumpets.
Right, okay, start again. Start the whole thing again. She bought some what?
Some pikelets.
Pikelets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't like them because they're not as fat as crumpets.
Oh God! I just look at different
Didn't eat
language.
them, and it was a big upheaval because, like, I was going home and her dad kept trying to sneak them into our bags. Because he's like, they were for you, you take them, we don't
Smuggling.
want your stuff in our house. Once, because he gets a bit funny about stuff being left over. There's bins that you can't put certain stuff in. There's a bin in the lounge and I put a tangerine peel in it. He goes, that sort of stuff does not go in that bin. So it's rubbish, yeah, but it's not the right sort of rubbish.
Someone will camp next to it.
We want to get a better class of camper. Oh, that's the book. It's called Happy Slapped by a Jellyfish
Yeah, that's from one of the chapters in it.
by Karl Pilkington. Get that soon.
Particularly if you're thinking of visiting Madeira or Australia.
Yeah. Well, that's about it. Thanks for listening to this. If you enjoyed this and you haven't heard the others, we've got the whole all 3 series on iTunes. You can go and download those.
The Ricky Gervais Show, is that what it's called?
It's called The Ricky Gervais Show. Yeah. Carl's also made a programme for me, Steve, on my Fame DVD, out in November. It's called Fame. So I thought of a little title, Fame, I'm Gonna Live Forever. Remember that guy we met who's gonna live forever?
Oh, yeah.
Called Howard?
Yeah.
That was a meeting of minds, and it's Carl meeting Howard, and it's
Got on with him.
it's really good, isn't it? It's really good, and he really gets on with him, and we're probably gonna do a new series of the podcast maybe next year. What do you think, Carl? If you're not too busy making this film with Clive Warren,
We'll see how it goes.
Go-
Don't plan anything.
yeah, just check out rickygervais.com. I am Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Carl.
Right.
Heroes by David Bowie. on Radio 2. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year indeed. And across from us, the little fellow who presses the buttons because, to be honest, we can't be bothered.
Yep.
Karl Pilkington.
How would you describe Karl Pilkington for people who didn't hear the show last week?
For the show, Karl is, and he won't want me saying this, because he won't fully understand it, one of the most stupid men I've ever met.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
He has a perfectly round head.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. You can see pictures of him. Go to rickygervais.com. We've put up some photographs, just snapshots, and honestly, his head looks like an egg.
It's not an issue though, is it?
What?
We're on the radio. Doesn't matter.
It's just trying to, you know, paint a picture for people though, Karl. It's important.
In fact, I have painted a picture. You can go to the BBC website and you can, I think you can win that if someone
I think
hasn't
you can
already.
also, but can you download it as wallpaper for your computer? You can. So if you want to see a cartoon representation of Karl, then there it is.
It's an
Go
original
to,
signed by me. I mean, it's not Damien Hirst.
No, sure.
But I mean, I think it's pretty accurate, Steve. I mean, to people who can't see it, but you can see a real photo or the. But that's Karl Pilkington, one of the most stupid men alive. You know, some people
Happy
still
Christmas.
think that he's an invention.
I know.
He think that we invented him and we give him lines and stuff, as if we could do that. What? And we shaved his head as well, and made him live in Manchester for 20 years. It's
People who've not experienced Karl before, hopefully there'll be plenty of Karl later in the show.
well, actually, we've got Karl doing a sermon
Brilliant.
for the Church of England. It's been requested by the Church of England, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I actually went and bought him a little Bible. Right? He did have a Bible. He said the Bible's too heavy, it's got no pictures, so I bought him a children's Bible, which is embarrassing asking for that in Waterstones,
Yeah.
for a start, and even that was too much for him. He was going, there's 200 pages. I mean, the writing, the letters, the font was about, I'd say, half a centimetre high, right?
Yes, yes.
And, but you've read it, have you?
I haven't read all of it. I just got some of the highlights.
So
He only gave it me the other day.
So we're doing the history of religion, are we? Coming up.
What do you mean?
Well, what do you mean, what do I mean?
No, I'm just doing a little taster. What the problem was, right, last
What
week.
do you mean, little taste? What are we
Just in
trying to
case
sell
someone hasn't-
Bibles? It's
No,
the
no.
biggest selling book in the world. They don't need it. I thought you were going to do a message, a New Year's message.
No, but it's kind of been forgotten about a little bit, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Because of Harry Potter and
Yeah,
stuff
you
like
say
that.
the Bible these days. He goes, what's that? What do you mean, the Bible?
No, but I'm just saying, there's probably, you know, a lot of people out there who've sort of gone, oh, you know, it's an old book, and once something's been around for a bit, you don't sort of visit it. It's like,
So this isn't Harry Potter we're talking about. This is the Bible.
yeah, I know, but
It's still very popular, Karl.
but this film's out. Do you know what I mean? These films
Brilliant.
that have been and gone, and it's like, oh, no one's talking about it anymore. I won't bother.
So you're giving the Church of England a little bit of boost.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, it's Christmas.
Excellent. That coming up. Well,
Last week, like I just asked, last week on the show we were talking about the gift that you'd arranged to for your girlfriend. Now-
how long have you been going out with her again?
I think it's about 11 years.
11 years, your life partner, he got a gift when he left his old job of a camera. He didn't even unwrap it, he just passed it on straight away, like passed the parcel to his girlfriend. We were giving him some stick. Everyone, about 90% of people phoning and saying, you are a skinflint, it's awful. How did it go down?
She loved it.
Did you tell her?
Did she love it?
Yeah, I think she likes it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't really have a go on it. I was playing about with it on Christmas Day,
Brilliant.
showing her how to use it and that, and said, you know, she's paid for a holiday for us to go away. I said, take it on that, use it. She's loving it.
Did you tell her before you gave it to her that you'd got it as a leaving gift for your previous job?
Yeah, just before. I mean, I wasn't going to, but because of last Saturday, you sort of put a bit of pressure on and stuff, and I went off and bought her a watch.
Nice.
'Cause I
Good.
thought a little extra.
One of those ones with a little
present.
calculator on? From a Texaco?
No, it's alright. It's like a little square Art Deco, the fella said it was.
It is nice, I've seen it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
no, it's
So
great.
she's-
And how did you tell her when you came in with the big news?
What
that,
about the
that you
camera?
hadn't bought the gift?
I just sort of said, oh, you said you wanted a camera, didn't you? And here's one I got from work. Anyway, here's another one.
Right.
So I just sort of told
Fudged
her,
it.
but moved on quick.
Brilliant.
fine.
And also, you
alright.
gave us the devastating news last week that just before Christmas, your mum's budgie died. How was Christmas in your household? Was it?
Little bit down. Little bit down, you know, with any death, it's always sad, isn't it, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Particularly
Um,
budgie.
Well, I mean, how long she had it? Probably lasted about 8 years or something, which is pretty good, isn't it, for a budgie?
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Came unexpected, wasn't ill.
Right.
And what I spoke to her the other day, and I said, you know, how's it going? Because on Christmas Day she was down.
Yeah.
Been calling her up every day. And I spoke to her the other day and said, you know, how are things? And she said, well, the other bird that's in the cage, she's got some sort of parrot that's in the same cage as it.
Right.
It's been a bit down.
Sure.
It's missing its mate. So what she did, she'd kept a few feathers from the budgie that died, right? She got a rock, a couple of sandwich fasteners, stuck the feathers on the rock. The other bird's happy now.
Wow.
Now I know that your mother explains everything.
And if you ever die, we just get a tennis ball, stick it on the end of a broom, she'll be happy.
Handbags and glad rags by Rod Stewart. That would make a good theme tune.
Brilliant. And then it would work really well, perhaps on a DVD. presumably that would still be available in the shops. Great for any, you know, New Year's vouchers you've got.
You're listening to Ricky Gervais on Radio 2 with Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. So good Christmases, yeah, all round.
Definitely for me. Had a great time, yeah. Carl?
It's alright.
How does it rate with, what did Suzanne get you?
She got me, you see, you were having a go at me about giving her, a camera, right? Which
was given to you, which was second hand. Essentially second hand.
It doesn't really matter that bit. But it's a present that both of us could use, right? And you were making me feel bad about that, and that's why I got her a watch, right? Which in a way I can use because I can say what time is it.
Sure.
Right? But
it's Chico time, isn't it?
But the thing is, right? She got me she got me a little printer.
Oh yeah, that's good, yeah.
Well,
What, you mean a little fella who works in a print shop?
Just a little printer to go with a computer and that. But for me, again, that's a present that, you know, we can all be using.
You are so ungrateful.
It's not that, it's just that, you know, when, it's good when you're a kid, isn't it? When Christmas is all about, like, your presents.
What did you want when you were a kid? What's your best present you ever had?
There's a few things. I mean, one that I always remember one Christmas, right? It was the year when computers first came out.
Right.
And there was one called the Sinclair Spectrum that I wanted, right?
What year are we talking? 80?
Must be 80, 83, 84,
Right,
yeah. And, anyway, I think my mum and dad's got me one. You know, it's under the tree in a big box. I'm thinking, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
About the size of a computer. Brilliant. Anyway, Christmas Day comes, you know, couldn't sleep and all that, excited like you are as a kid.
Yeah.
Get up, open it. It's not the one I wanted, right?
Really?
It's not the Spectrum, it was a ZX81,
Okay.
right? So I thought, well, I've best not show that I'm disappointed in that. You know, even as a kid you have sort of, you know, that thing of
You've
saying,
lost that, now you say, oh, it's not what I wanted, Suzanne, but go on.
yeah, but, you know, so I sort of, you know, pretended I liked it and that. I thought, oh, just play some games on it, I'll just get on with it, right? Anyway, I try and
Sure, even as a kid he had the weight of the world. I know.
His parents have saved up for it.
Look at his frown lines. Look, he's frowned since he was about 4.
Yeah.
Look at those lines.
Right. So, yeah, but this is why. You'll understand in a minute when I tell you the end of this story.
Go on.
So, I load up a computer game, which used to take about 10 minutes.
Was
right?
it on cassette? You had to load- oh, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a fax machine, doesn't it? Yeah.
Right? Anyway, it wouldn't load. I was thinking, what's up with this? Is it broke? Right? And I kept trying it. And my dad sort of, my mum used to get up early to open the presents with me. My dad got up at about midday, he couldn't be bothered. Right? Anyway, he comes down, I'm
so
still...
telling. This
I
is
know, the picture he paints is
I
so
know,
heartbreaking.
it's like Alan Bennett or something. Or Dickens.
Yeah, or some of those kind of 60s back, like Kathy Come Home, sort of, you know, really
in sync dramas.
So anyway, so I'm there, right, getting frown growing and that.
Yeah.
Trying to read this book, thinking, why isn't it working? So my dad has a look, and he goes, oh, you're missing a bit. I said, what? He goes, you need a RAM pack, right? Which is a bit that you put in the back of it that gives it extra memory.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do you
need
mean?
one of them.
I'm like, what do you mean? It's Christmas Day, right? And we're talking about the days when, like, Tandy wasn't open.
Sure.
It wasn't open for days.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like now, by lunchtime Christmas Day, everything's open again.
Yeah,
sure,
right?
yeah.
Then you had to wait about 2 weeks. Everyone like had a big holiday and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh god, I actually started to be sick, right, with frustration.
Oh no!
What?
Well,
How old were you? How old were you?
Do you know what?
How old were you?
Well, like I say, I don't know. It must have been about 8 or something.
Oh.
But that thing of like, what it's Christmas Day, I can't play with it, and I had to wait for like 2 weeks, what have you. Sat over the kitchen sink, sort of going, stressing out. Hated it. It was a rubbish Christmas.
Wow. I love the idea of you going,
Stress, isn't it?
What did your dad say?
He just sort of said, look, calm down, we'll get you one when the shop's open. And I was like, yeah, but 2 weeks, isn't it?
I have never heard anyone being sick from stress.
Oh, poor little kid, just so stressed.
Before the trail, we heard Feeder on Radio 2. Steve Merchant here with Ricky Gervais, Karl Pilkington. We were talking before that about rotten gifts, and particularly gifts that Karl's received in the past. We're just actually thinking now, because we've got to give away this, we haven't got to give away, but we're generously giving away a Eurythmics Platinum disc. So if you're a Eurythmics fan, or indeed if you're not, but perhaps you know someone who is, and maybe you got some rotten gifts for Christmas, then you can get in touch with us, let us know what the worst gift is that either you received this year, or maybe even even in the past, you know, something that really you just was terrible. Maybe you, like Carl, had the poker face when you received it, you politely opened the box, but inside you were dying. But you can get in touch with us, 882921, we've got the email gervais@bbc.co.uk, or you can phone us, 0500 288 291. The worst gift ever will receive the Eurythmics Platinum Disc.
Well, talking of gifts, I got my girlfriend a few gifts, a trip to Paris and a few little bits and pieces, and one of which was a trip to the theatre.
Nice.
A thing we'd walked past before and we'd wanted to look really great. The Woman in Black, which is on at the Fortune Theatre in Covent Garden. I bought 4 tickets so, you know, we could, she could take some people. She chose to take, Carl and Suzanne.
Well, of course, now I think it's a scary play, isn't it? It's a spooky
It's a
play.
scary thing.
So
It's
you
about
thought instantly
ghosts.
Carl's the man.
Absolutely. And it was, wasn't it great, wasn't it? And the theatre was so lovely, and the production is so lush, and it's genuinely really it's been going for 17 years. They really honed it, and and it was great watching Carl. At one point, we were in a box, which I'll tell you about in a minute.
Nightmare.
And I just pointed to show Carl that this face was appearing, right? But as I was pointing, he didn't see me pointing, my finger came into his peripheral vision, and he went, "Oh!" And I laughed for about 5 minutes, because he just saw a finger come in. I wasn't even trying to wind him up in that, 'cause that was such a bonus for me, and I nearly died. But the reason we were in a box, I went there and I said, "Oh, can I get a box?" And they said, "Oh, the boxes are a little bit small and cramped." I went, "Okay." So they give you some really good seats. So we got some nice seats downstairs. And do people go to the theatre these days to clear their throat?
Yeah.
And their nose?
Yeah.
Because I was surrounded by people going, which I find absolutely disgusting. That even annoyed me doing it, and I apologise to people at home listening. And coughing and eating sweets, chatting about things, right? And I was getting a bad neck. You know what I'm like, kind of thing. I just wanted it to be silent, right? So, in the interval, I said, I went up to the manager, I said, "Oh, can we wear the box?" And they went, "Oh, yeah, fine, yeah." It was free, they didn't sell it. So we went up there, and they let us go in one. The first one, we had to go past some people in the interval, treading past, sorry. All,
I'm a celebrity, I get a box.
yeah, that's exactly, so they probably think, oh, they've given it to him for a special treatment. I was gonna buy it, it's no extra money, but they just didn't sell it, because it was, you know.
Another reason to hate you.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But we went in there, there's only 3 chairs, so I went, oh, this was the other box has got 4 chairs. Carl went, "I'm not going out there again." Right, so we said, "I'll sit on the floor." Imagine him sitting on the floor.
Were you sat on the floor with your little head peeking over the edge of the box?
No, this is it.
So I went, "Oh, let's go." We went out, he was so embarrassed. Of course, everyone's going, "Oh, look." Walking past people again, went in the box. Everyone's looking at the box now. Right? And Carl was horrified. Carl was trying to hide, but it was
To be honest, I mean, the idea of a box is you get a better view, but I didn't, because I was like, "Oh, I have to sit right at the back."
Yeah.
I might as well have been, like, near the fire exit. I just was like, I don't want to be sitting
No,
next
that's
to
not the
other.
idea of boxes to get a better view. I think it's from days where it was how you were meant to be seen. The boxes face each other, right? And you're meant to see who's in the other box. It was very a socialite type thing. The boxes are probably the worst view in the theatre. That's why some theatres don't actually sell them. But I'll tell you what, I'd rather have to lean forward and see something than be surrounded by people chewing
But
and
it wasn't that bad though, Steve. That's the thing. You know what he's like.
Oh,
So,
well,
I mean, anything that's meant to be like a nice, relaxing night out, whether it's going for a nice, quiet meal, suddenly turns into this, like, nightmare.
Well, I won't
of
go
an
to public
evening.
places with Ricky, because there's always something that'll annoy him, and then he won't take it out on them, he'll take it out on you.
Yeah.
We gotta leave, it's too smoky, it's too noisy, it's not noisy enough. There's music, there's not music, it's an absolute nightmare.
Well, people annoy me, that's all.
Stressful. So I mean, just the other day, right, I went out for something to eat. Nice, quiet, you know, Italian place. I walk in, there's about 6 people in there, having a nice, quiet meal, you know, quiet. I thought, that's good, he's not gonna complain about the noise and that. Sit down, I have some arrabbiata, which is nice and that.
Alright.
Anyway, he starts sort of normal chat, saying how he'd like to put my head in a vice.
Sorry, he'd like to put your head in a vice?
In a vice, yeah.
Not really.
Sort of normal, sort of.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I was just thinking that it would be lovely to put him in one, you know those vice that are sort of attached to workbenches?
Yeah.
Just so, not to, just put it in there so he's caught there, and then I can sort of do what paint his head or something, or feel it squeezing. And I just imagined sort of squeezing it too tight, didn't I?
So he's saying all this, right, which I'm getting the sort of picture enough without sounds, right? But then he thinks, well, why not add sounds? It's quiet in here, right? Starts sort of going, so your head's in the vice, tighten it, and you're sort of going, Right? So he's sat in a chair, quiet restaurant, doing that. It's like the scene out of When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Right? All these, like, tourists and that sat there sort of going, oh, Ricky Gervais over there. And suddenly, like, from a look of, like, oh, that's good, it's Ricky Gervais, to what the hell is going on?
But I just imagine this little lad, because what he do, I just imagine him in a tight, and I go,
Is there any other radio show that's ever been on Radio 2 that has had this discussion?
well, no,
Does Johnny Walker, OBE, ever say, I'd love to put Terry Wogan's head in a vice and see what happens? Eurythmics, Here Comes the Rain Again on Radio 2. We've got a Eurythmics Platinum disc to give away, and we'll get to that shortly. Keep your worst Christmas gifts ever coming in. You're talking about, Rick, about the, you know, nightmarish people you find now in any kind of, you know, theatre and the cinemas, because I love the cinemas, you know, and I'm a big movie buff. And for me, I feel that when I go into the cinema, it should be the red carpet treatment. I go all the time, you know, I'm a big cinema fan. I shouldn't have to sit with, for want of a better word, the scum of the world. Do you know what I mean?
Scum, you mean anyone who isn't you?
Anyone who isn't me. But sometimes, you know, you end up going to the cinema, you know, on a Friday or Saturday evening because you want to be, you know, you don't want to be a sad loner who goes on the Wednesday afternoon. So sometimes you're forced to sort of see these people. And I went to cinema once to see, remember that film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Yeah.
And I sat there, I thought, this is great. I was a nice big seat, it was fine. And this woman comes trundling in. She was huge. I mean, properly mammoth. Like the marshmallow monster at the end of Ghostbusters. Do you know what I mean? Kind of waddling in like that, with this tiny little flake of a husband. And she had everything. She had nachos, hot dogs, big soft drink cartons. You know what I mean? It's like, you know those people who, they've gone out to eat, and they pop into the cinema, and if a film happens to be showing there, they'll go and watch that.
Brilliant.
Basically,
They've gone for a picnic.
They've come to, yeah, they've
there's
come
a film
to
on.
graze.
Yeah.
And, so they've arbitrarily chosen this film, so she's in there, the trailers come on, and it's not only is she greedy, but you can tell she's stupid. This trailer comes on for AI, remember that film, Spielberg film, AI? Yeah. And the trailer is something like, Jimmy is a 12-year-old boy, he feels like a human, he experiences emotion like a human, but he's not a human, he's a robot. Right, and everyone goes quiet, and she went to her husband, how old was he again?
Oh.
So already I'm on my backside, do you know what I mean? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon comes on, right? It comes up, and you know it's in Mandarin, I think it's an Asian film. And it comes up, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She says, bear in mind she's paid the money to come in, she says, funny name for a film. Which is pretty weird. So, it comes up, it says Mandarin subtitles, she goes, not subtitles. It comes on, right, they're all speaking in Mandarin. She, to her husband, turns to him, she starts going, jing chang chong chong chang chang chong,
no.
Jing chang chong chong chang chang ching. Like, during the film. I mean, it's the film started and she's doing that. She's going funny language, wing wang chang wing chang chang chong chong, and they start both doing it, right?
Oh, God.
So I get up, I'm so angry, I want to make, but again, of course, not too polite to actually say anything, so I think I'll make it clear what my feelings are. So I get up, hoping that the seat will flip back loudly and I can storm
knock
off.
her popcorn all over her.
Over his stupid face. But, sadly the seats didn't flip up, so I just kind of huffily climbed over a few seats, sat down, brilliant, next to a teenage girl on her mobile phone.
Oh.
And she's on there, she's chatting away, I'll meet you after, And I wanted to grab the phone for her and say, I'll be honest with you, you're 14, and unless this is your broker in Hong Kong saying the big deal's about to go through, which I suspect it's not, I suspect it's Gavin saying, can we meet behind the bike sheds later? Put the phone down. People who are on the phone in the cinema.
I know.
It drives,
I know, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. See, you're like me.
But people always say, why'd you get so angry? Your New Year's resolution should be calm down, chill out, you know. But how can you chill out when this stuff's going on?
What's your New Year's resolution,
no, just
Carl?
with that though, I mean, surely people are allowed to, like, have a chat if a film's got subtitles.
Why?
Because you can read it, it doesn't matter about the noise.
That is the most stupid thing I have ever heard in my life.
No, I'm just
I mean,
saying,
that really is the most stupid thing I've ever... So go along with your iPod on.
Yeah, take a ghetto blaster.
Yeah, you could if you can multitask. I mean, that would do my head in, having music, and I wouldn't know what to sort of concentrate on. But if you, it's only like reading a book when you're on a train, innit? You've got noise around you.
What are you talking about? These films cost millions of dollars. Everything's perfect.
The music, the sound effects,
the whole montage, this mixed media, and someone comes along and goes, oh, I might as well talk to Gavin on my phone. Well, I was reading it anyway. You're an idiot. You're an idiot, Carl. I think your New Year's resolution should be less stupid.
No, I'm doing, I'm gonna try and learn something new every day through 2006.
What have you learnt today?
Well, I did a lot yesterday, so I'm having a day off today. but no, you know, just well, I did, didn't I? I did the Bible stuff and that. So I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, we've got that coming up.
What's your New Year's resolution? To be less annoyed.
I suppose I should be more tolerant of others.
Do you know what Ricky said he's going to be?
What?
It's going to be more annoying.
Yeah, well, I just thought.
But this is the wonderful hypocrisy of it, because you've just been agreeing with me about how you hate people who are annoying.
Yeah, but only to friends. People are like. The thing is, right? I've got to say a couple of things, right? The reason I sort of torture Carl is because I don't know. I've got friends with defects. I don't know why. All my friends are slightly weird or stupid or something wrong with them. Carl's little round head. I mean, the brain of a fish. Right?
Yes.
I can't get my hands off his head. Robin Ince, he's got glasses. He waddles funny. He's got little thumbs. His thumbs are too short. Right.
Sure.
I can't keep my hands off him. Right. My mate Rob, who did flannels with me, he's got a perfectly round head. His teeth protrude slightly.
He's in America though for when you need a round bald head, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
in case
When I go to New York, or and then he looks me like Dave Hill from
Interesting
Slade.
that you're collaborating on a book, but he chooses to live in America.
No, yeah, but could I just say also that I do not advocate the use of vices on friends' heads. It's dangerous. Do not squeeze your mate's head in a vice. That's just between me and Carl, and you know. And
Ricky Gervais is an experienced annoyer.
and he probably wouldn't let me do it, to be honest. I have to offer him an awful lot of money. Also, do not smoke. There's no point. And floss. I wish I'd flossed when I was a kid. Also, if you've got a bicycle or anything like that for Christmas, please wear the correct safety gear.
Whoa.
What?
Well, I got a bike as a kid.
Yeah.
Right? And my dad, you know, I think the helmets used to come with them and what have you. I popped it on, went out on my bike, coming back into the garden. Dad sees me. He said, "Come here." I said, "What?" He said, "I never want to see you wearing that helmet again. You look ridiculous."
Oh, wow.
He'd rather take the risk.
No one looks good in them though, do they?
Yes, they do. Wear the helmet.